Hello, crew. I am home. Back to my normal, regular live videos from here on in. So firstly, any of you that were on my live yesterday, I'm so sorry regarding what happened. If you were on that live, you'll know that we were in the car, traveling home from our holiday, got to a petrol station and the power was out because of a fire in that local area, devastating fire that covered many hectares of land, fire, and the power was out. With no power, there is no petrol, so we couldn't get diesel for Paul's car. And I really didn't think I'd lose internet coverage that soon from leaving that town, but clearly I did. I'm not even sure I got to tip one of what I was going to share with you yesterday, and then I lost internet coverage. And I'm sitting there and it was saying, trying to reconnect, and I sat there for ages and ages. I thought this is just not going to happen. And I didn't actually get connection for, I think it was close to an hour or something like that. Anyway, I'm sorry about yesterday. So I'm going to continue what I was going to share with you yesterday today because it's important. And if you don't know what that is, if you're jumping on this live and you didn't see yesterday's live, I'm talking about negative thinking. We all have it. If you say you don't think negatively about anything, you are absolutely lying, because everybody thinks negatively about something or someone somewhere along the line, even if you do that subconsciously. So we all have it, but it really doesn't serve you. The trick to negative thinking is to turn it around really quickly. So what I'm going to share with you today, I've got 7 tips to turn around negative thinking. And this is one of the most important things that you can do, because if you listen to me live often, you'll know that I say a couple of things over and over again. One of those is be human before you're a marketer, particularly on social media. And the other thing is it's not necessarily a skill, an algorithm, a Facebook hack, a Facebook ad, all those kind of things that are going to make you successful. It's what's going on here. And do you know what negative thinking causes? Negative thinking causes negative comments. Negative comments is what comes out your mouth. And if you're a complainer, if you whinge, if you've always got something negative to say, if you're always on the negative slant, you're going to lose friends, people. You're going to lose business colleagues because they don't want to hear it, okay? So what we want to learn to do is turn around our negative thinking really quickly, okay? So this is important because you've all got it in you to sway towards the negative. Maybe not openly. It may be just to yourself. There may be things that you think you can't do. It may be lack of self-belief. It may be, you're not sure if you can be really successful. That's all negative thinking because it's not belief. Like, you want to have strong belief that you can be whoever it is that you want to be and earn the money that you want to earn. Is that not true, people? So I'm going to continue that on today's live. Now, you don't need all 7 of these tips. You might need only one that works for you, okay? So don't go anywhere. One of these may really help you somewhere along the line. So how is everybody? Have you had, we're already a couple of weeks into the New Year, so it's probably a little bit late for me to say, have you had a good New Year's? But how's the start to 2021 been for you so far? If you've been following along my journey the last week or so, you'll know that I've been away. I've had a great time. From Christmas up until now, I've been away, I think, 3 times with friends and just enjoyed life. And you absolutely need to do that. But somewhere along the line, we're all routine people. And sometimes it's really good for us to get back into routine, particularly with the eating and drinking, I might say. I've indulged a lot and it's been a lot of fun, but looking forward to getting back into routine and exercise and all those kind of things. So a couple of reminders before I say hello to a few people. You may be aware that the special offer to join our coaching community from December has been extended through to the end of January. The details are up above. If you want access to over $7,700 worth of practical social media training, click the link above. Also, if you have not sorted out your brand, my branding course is starting again next Monday. So that link is above as well. You must sort out your brand, guys. There are too many changes happening. I spoke to you last week about TikTok There are things happening on social media platforms that they are, what's the right word for it? Restricting our industry. Facebook doesn't like us necessarily when we deliberately promote, our industry. TikTok has banned MLM, direct sales, all of that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go and watch last week's video where I explained all of that. But if you brand yourself, if you bring value to the marketplace, all those kind of things that I promote here, attraction marketing, you'll be fine. So if you haven't sorted out your brand, join me for my branding course, which starts next week. Details are above. So who's here? How are you going this year so far? We've got Cherie. Hello, how are you? Hello, Chantel. I hope your foot is okay. I've actually got a doctor's appointment this afternoon. Thank you, Chantel. I looked at it last night and I can still open it wide up. So I think it might need glue or a stitch or something like that. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, I unfortunately stepped on a very large piece of glass while we were away, and it actually, I don't know how it happened, but it went up into the rubber. I was just wearing a rubber thong, so it's pierced through the rubber right into the bottom of my foot. It is very, very sore today. So I'm going to get a tetanus injection and getting it looked at. So thank you for asking, Chantel. Hopefully I'll be right to go after I've been to the doctors this afternoon. But it does hurt to walk on, which is a bit of a worry. Hello, Cindy. How are you? Hello, Fabian. Good to see you on. We've got Beth here as well. Good to have you back. So thankful. It's great to be back. Great to have you back. Thank you, guys. Hello, Olive. Yes, we made it home. We actually made it to the next destination without running out of diesel. So we got home, which was a good thing. How does it feel to be back home? To be honest, Cindy, it's full on already. And I don't know what happens with my brain. Who does this? Maybe you can relate to this. I've slept beautifully while we've been away, when we were camping up at the river, and the last week that we've had in our holiday home. But last night in my own bed, knowing that I'm back into routine from now on, my brain just went, I had a terrible night's sleep last night. I've woken up with a headache. I was like, man, I didn't need to come home, because clearly being home doesn't work for me. I'm only kidding. But yeah, my brain just went into overdrive when my head hit the pillow last night. So it's good to be home, Cindy. I just have to get back into routine to get rid of my brain going 100 miles an hour. So many things I need to do. Hello, Rick. How are you? Joys of live video. Absolutely, Rick. You just got to go with the flow, though, don't you? Hello, Julie. Lovely to see you here. No, tip one was hurt. I thought I got through tip one, but then when I watched the replay, tip one didn't play for me. So, yeah, I was a little bit confused about that on the replay. Hello, Heather. How are you? No apology necessary. Thanks, Beth. Hello, Leslie. How are you? Hi, Glenn. Good to see you guys on. True, whether we want to admit it or not. Cindy's one of our VIPers in a mentorship program. It's a thought before it's a thing. Exactly. Negative thoughts are a thought before they become a thing. So if you can control the thought, you can control the thing, which could be your words, all those kind of things. Hello, Yvette. Very true. I told myself I'm going to the top and allowed myself to believe it. And I'm on 4 figures per month. Mindset is everything. Well done. That's the way you want to think. Great to see you too, Janet. My post today was, a negative mind will never get you a positive life. Never. Great post. Hi, Laurie. How are you? Oh, we had a ball. We really did. 2 years into this, and I'm back at square one with my branding. I'll be tuning into that for sure. And that's okay. You can rebrand at any time. That's the beautiful thing about social media and branding. You can rebrand at any stage and just, reset the clock if that's what you think you need to do. Hello, hi, lovely to see you here. We've got Aldith as well. Tasha, lovely to see you on. Diane, Jamaica is in the house. Good to see. I want to join the branding class. Where do I get, or how do I get the $50 off for the coaching group? I'll send that to you, Cherie. It's already in the coaching community group, but I'll message that to you after the live, okay? It's a special discounted link. Hello, Cynthia. Good to see you here. We've got Jennifer as well. Sorry, spelling error. It wasn't heard. It was not heard. Okay, I'm with you now. Water, that's what I need to have lots of, Glenn. You're quite correct. Lovely to see you on, Deb. We've got Patricia as well. Welcome from beautiful Jamaica, Diane. Absolutely. Okay, so let's get into the content for today because I really want to get through these 7 tips. And I don't want you to think that you need all 7 tips. There might just be one that helps you, that is your trigger when you know you're thinking negatively, that you can, just think of one of these tips and it helps turn it around. Because I'll say it again, nothing you do personal development wise, no book, no audio book, anything is ever going to stop you from having a negative thought. If you think that's possible, you're delusional. You're always going to think negatively of some sort, probably more so about yourself than other things, but that's okay. It's not wrong to think negatively. It's just as soon as it pops in your head, you're like, oh, I'm going there again. And one of these 7 tips will hopefully help you shift out of it. So don't think that it's bad to have negative thoughts. You're human, and that is just going to be what happens. But what I want you to do is shift it really, really quickly. Now, tip 1, which I think is where I cut out yesterday, is about shifting your mood. So negative thinking comes from kind of a frame of mind. You're not obviously feeling positive. Something's happened, or you're concentrating on something and you've taken a negative spin on it. Something out of your control has happened and you don't like it. So you're thinking negatively about it. Generally, when we have negative thoughts, it's a frame of mind that you're in, and it may not be serving you that well. So tip 1 is to shift your mood. What caused the negative thinking at that time? Are you just frustrated? Are there a number of things contributing to, not positive things going on at that point of time? Sometimes things snowball, don't they? And something goes wrong, and then another thing goes wrong, and you're like, there it is. There's my 3 things that have gone wrong, and you talk yourself into that. So sometimes we can get into a frame of mind which sort of promotes negative thinking. Does that make sense to you? So what you want to do is shift your mood. What lifts your mood? What do you know for yourself that shifts your mood if you're thinking negatively? Snap out of it. That's what you've got to say to yourself. What can I do to shift this way of thinking? A good thing that works for me is music. Like putting on something that I know is going to uplift my mood. Like, have you put music on, or you've walked into a bar? I'm not saying you need to walk into a bar, guys, but you've walked into a venue or something like that, and it's playing music, and suddenly your mood shifts. It uplifts you because it's a positive beat, or you put something in the car and suddenly you're singing, that kind of thing. What shifts your mood really quickly? What's your thing? Is it music? Is it change of environment? Get outside and go for a walk, no matter how cold it is for some of you there. What is it that helps you shift your mood? Is it listening to something, totally meaningless, like turning on the TV and watching your favorite TV show? What shifts your mood? So if you're thinking negatively, you want to shift your mood pretty quickly. Music is a very fast way to do that. So if you're on a bit of a spiral, if you know you're complaining, and you're complaining to others don't want to hear it, guys. Complaining to others and being negative and putting a negative spin on things is just not positive for anybody around you. So you want to get out of that type of mood. It's really important because you will lose friends over it. People will start distancing themselves from you if that's your sort of go-to way of thinking, okay? So number 1 is shift your mood. Another thing to do is actually smile. So when we're thinking negatively, talking negatively, you've usually got some kind of, facial expression, like smile, force yourself to smile, force yourself to laugh, listen to something that's going to make you laugh. Like actually, consciously, smile and laugh and things like that. Like just basically shift your mood, okay? Number 2, not only shift your mood, but what can you do to shift your thoughts? The only way you can shift your thoughts is to have a very high level of awareness of what you're thinking, because a lot of you will think negatively subconsciously. You don't even know you're doing it. You don't even know you're thinking it. You don't even know you're actually saying it out loud to other people. So you've got to have a really high level of awareness of what you're thinking. And if that's negative, how do you not only shift your mood, but shift your thoughts? That's something you're going to need to practice. Some people, I can't remember which book it's from, but there is a book that talks about, you may not agree with this, it's just one example, guys, but you put your negative thought, on a cloud and say, bye-bye, see ya, like thank you, but no thank you. And you actually push away your negative thoughts with that kind of thought process. So there's many different resources and books that can, you can do things like that, but it's how do you shift it? How do you move it? Thank you, but no thank you. Like you actually have a high level awareness and you talk yourself around it. So it's not only shifting your mood, it's shifting your actual thoughts. Okay. Anybody want to share something that works for them? If you've got something, I'd be interested to know. But it's really important to have a high level of awareness of when you're thinking negative, like, I can't do that. Is this worth it? I want to give up on my business. I've not made any money so far. So is this ever going to work for me? Like, that's all negative thinking. That's not going to get you where you want to go. You need to turn that around and think, I can do anything I want to. Or this is something I've shared with you guys a couple of times. Positive affirmations and things like that. Sometimes your little voice will talk you out of your positive affirmation if you don't actually believe it. So here's what I recommend you do regarding that. So let's say you're telling yourself a positive affirmation, you're turning around a negative thought to a positive thought, going, I'm going to achieve great things this year. I'm going to achieve 5-figure months. I'm going to achieve 6 figures this year. Whatever it is that you want to achieve. And then the little voice in your head goes, no, you're not. Or you probably can't because you haven't done it before. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. Like, you want to believe something and then your little voice goes, well, you haven't done it before. Are you about to do it now, type thing? So what I recommend you do with positive thinking around that is use the words I'm working towards, because then it's believable and you can back yourself. I am working towards a 6-figure income this year. So when you insert I am working towards, you can actually feel it and believe it, because that's what you're actually physically doing. You are working towards $1,000 month, a $5,000 month, a $10,000 month, like what it is that you want to achieve, and just insert the words I'm working towards, instead of telling yourself you can't do that. That's probably not possible for you. So instead of going there, going, no, get rid of that thought. I'm working towards, I can do this. Okay. So the way that you actually think will help you believe it or not. So if you're, if you've been taught to do positive affirmations, but they're too outlandish and you don't actually see that for yourself, you'll talk yourself out of it and you'll self-sabotage. So just using words like I'm working towards this, I'm working towards my goal weight, I'm working towards losing 5 kilos. It's not an excuse. It's just to help you actually feel it and believe it. Okay, I hope that makes sense. All right, so learn to shift your thoughts in whatever works for you is number 2. Number 3, take responsibility. No one else makes you think negatively. The environments around you may not control, but how you perceive them, how you think about them, how you move through them is totally up to you. So things that hit in our industry are things like, particularly COVID and shipping and things like that. Like, especially internationally. I've been hit with that with our company. Things might take longer to get to you than can you control it? No. Is there any use complaining about it? No. Is everyone in the same situation? Yes. Is it just you? No. Stop complaining about it. It's not worth it. So that's a negative way of thinking on something you can't control. If you can't control it, don't stress about it. And become a solution person rather than I'm going to complain about this. Okay, no one wants to be surrounded by a complainer. So take responsibility for the way that you think and don't stress about things you can't control. Your environment, bad things are always going to happen, but how you perceive those things, like one of my best memories ever is going to Manila and seeing these kids that had nothing in a school, and they were the happiest kids ever, and yet they have nothing. They literally have nothing but sort of the clothes on their back, and we were feeding them, and it was amazing, and it was so inspiring, because the people that have nothing are generally more grateful than sometimes the people that have a lot. Like, just take your thought processes to an appropriate place when you think you're hard done by, because you're probably not. Okay, so take responsibility. Don't play the victim. You control your thoughts. You control the way you perceive things, carry on about things, those kind of things. So take responsibility for that and be the adult and be a solution seeker rather than, somebody who concentrates on problems. Okay. Number 4, shift your focus off you onto something else. So when you're thinking negatively, you're saying negative things, the focus is probably all on you. So take the focus off you and focus on somebody else. How can you help somebody else? What good deeds can you do for somebody today? What random act of kindness can you do for somebody else? Take the focus off yourself and shift it onto somebody else for good. Like for a good reason, for, an act of kindness reason. So get out of the moment and focus on something else. Okay, that's positive, obviously, not negative. Number 5, learn to let go. Don't sweat the small stuff. Remind yourself, don't sweat the small stuff. What's the vision? What's the problem? The problem's here, the vision's there. Get over the problem, the immediate problem, the immediate problem. Learn to let stuff go. Don't sweat the small stuff. It's not important. So, something like a shipping problem or, in your company, or somebody said something to you that you're stressed about. Like, is it really a bigger deal as you are making it out to be? Don't sweat the small stuff. It's not worth it. Okay. Learn to let stuff go. People hang on to stuff for way too long. People hang on to conversations with people, whereas you could just have a conversation with somebody and clear the air. So, you just want to be nice, show empathy, don't sweat the small stuff. If you're troubled about something or someone, have a conversation with them and clear the air. Don't hang on to stuff. It's really, really unhealthy for you. Okay. Number 6, focus on what you are grateful for. There is always something to be grateful for in times of, trials, tribulations, problems, all those kind of things. Are you alive? Are you breathing? Do you have a roof over your head? Have you got food on the table of some capacity? Well, then that's a hell of a lot more than what people that are sleeping underneath a bridge with no blankets have. So shift your focus in relation to whatever the problem is to what you are grateful for, and shift that way of thinking. So this helps with number 2 in shifting your thoughts, is move it from the problem to what you're actually grateful for. So I'm grateful that I have a roof over my head. I am grateful that I have friends to talk to. I'm grateful that I have, the people that I work with in my business, like all my family or my kids or, my partner, whatever it is. What are you grateful for? Shift focus, what you're concentrating on. Okay. And number 7 is immerse yourself in positive resources. If you lean towards more to the negative than the positive, that's your personality type, then immerse yourself in some books, some reading. So if you're not good at reading, then some audio books, the app called Audible, where you actually listen to books instead of reading them. Maybe you're not a big reader, those kind of things. Immerse yourself in stuff that's going to help you change your frame of mind. Really, really important if you're one of these people that has a negative slant to their way of thinking. And that may be something you are not conscious of at all. Maybe you don't back yourself. Maybe you don't have a lot of belief in yourself. Maybe you don't see in the future as you seeing yourself as being really wealthy or any of those things. If that's not how you see yourself or what you see for yourself, then you need to immerse yourself in some resources to help you, control that way of thinking and get out of that way of thinking and truly back yourself and have, great belief. This is the stuff that makes or breaks you. Some people will turn off this live video and go, yeah, I've heard all of that stuff before. They're the people who are going to still continue to think negatively. So, it really is just so important that you learn to love yourself, not in a superficial way, but that you have respect for yourself and that you think positively majority of the time. And if you have those negative thoughts, that you've got some tools, one of those 7 ways maybe, or maybe there's something else that works for you to turn around that negative thinking, because your success lies with you, not in anybody else, not a mentor, not a company, not a system, not a Facebook ad, not a Facebook algorithm, any of that kind of stuff. It's actually you as a human being. That's often what we need to work on the most. So just checking in if you've got any feedback from that, guys. Music for me every time, and I've got several videos saved that are motivational. The Rock has several that light me up. Yeah, The Rock is great. And, you know, those YouTube inspirational videos, they can be great for that. So thanks for that feedback there, Laurie. I tell myself to stop and reset, and that may be all that it takes. Just stop, reset. That might be all that it is for you, but you've got to have a very high level of awareness to tell yourself to stop. Because some of you, thinking negatively is just your normal go-to, and you're not even realizing you're thinking negatively. You're not even realizing what you're saying to other people. It's just who you are, according to you. So let me tell you that you can change who you are. You just got to want to. That's the thing. Well, all of your last few lives, I've had the very same topics and lives made up to do on the same days. We must be in the same wavelength. Maybe we are, but start the year out, thinking these kind of things is just so important. I caught myself the other day in a complaint about an issue, had to shut it down, to stop. And that's good. Just shut it down and refocus. Listening to a podcast this morning about mind clearing. Yep, that's awesome, Heather. Care enough about yourself to do the right thing at the right time just for you. Yeah, and that, it's really about self-love. When you've got a lot of negative thinking, there's something you're not enjoying about yourself or liking about yourself or others. So when somebody's really content and really happy, they will probably be more of a positive person overall. That is awesome, Helen. Glenn reminding me to drink my water. I'll do that just in a second. Thank you for this. I just hit the reset button, and you will need to hit the reset button over and over and over and over and over again. We all do it. I know I keep repeating that, but you can't just read one book and suddenly you're positive and you think you're awesome. You're all going to think negatively about what you can achieve, who you are, what you look like, all that kind of stuff. It's always going to happen, but just learn to hit the reset button really, really quickly. And what that does is creates new neurological thought patterns, which is habits. So you want your new normal to lean towards the positive instead of the negative. So when you're thinking, just generally, when you meet somebody positive and you think, wow, they're such a positive person, I really admire that. Their brain is wired to think positively before they think negatively. That's what you want to do for yourself. And the quicker that you can do that and create new habits, the better. Okay, so you either want to change or you don't. So ultimately, it's up to you. You can continue to be negative, or you can, create these, quick triggers to turn around negative thinking, and then you create new thought habits. And new thought habits creates belief. And then amazing belief in yourself gives you the confidence to do whatever it is that you need to do to be successful. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Yvette, I choose to be positive. I fully understand what negative thoughts can do. Great topic, Helen. Thank you, Glenn. Okay, so let's leave it on that note. And I will be back with you guys same time tomorrow. So thank you for joining me today. Great to be back home and getting back to the rhythm of things. And I look forward to seeing you guys same time tomorrow. Bye.